Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here. Another interesting day at the market, another green day. Things are looking good. And I think most of the proceedings in the market happened exactly the way I thought of yesterday. I don't call myself a genius because even a broken clock can be right once every day. So it was my lucky day. And I also managed to buy a little FNGU, dollar cost average, and then I'm still holding it because I think tomorrow will also be a good day. So let's go ahead and do our daily roundup and decide what to do for tomorrow. Let's get started. Welcome back, friends. So we are looking at the fear and greed index, and we are just in the verge of getting into extreme greed, which is a reading of 76. We are just one short of it. So we're almost in dangerous territory out here. All valuations are stretched. Now, that said, let us go and have a look at the stock market heat map. And out here, you can see immediately that money has moved out of our biotech sector. I mean, it has moved out of a lot of sectors, but all of that has gone into the Magnificent Seven. And this is the biotech sector that we have here, healthcare and biotechnology. As you can see, this whole thing is a sea of reds. Most of them are red. So money has moved out, and as per the regular trend, tomorrow we should see the money coming back into genomics. So we'll check that all out when we go into the TradingView platform. But I think that it's amazing to see NVDA again going up by 2.7%. And Tesla is also showing unusual strength at this point of time. Could be the realization that not giving the CEO package is going to have less equity dilution. Maybe that's the sentiment behind it. But Meta also is continuing to firm up. All in all, it's all looking good. This seems to be an AI-driven market. Now, going on into the TradingView platform, I'd like to look at the Nasdaq futures, and you can see, friends, that for the first time, we have gone above the all-time high. So I'm going to start marking supports out here, which I was not doing earlier because I didn't want to jinx our progress. So I am now confident to put a green line out here and say these are the supports. And the trading volume for today was pretty good, and we have come to the post-market session where there has been a slight drop of minus 0.1%. That is the small red band that you're seeing out here, a small red, I wouldn't say a candle, but small red bar. The day's proceeding was this huge green candle out here, a lot of gains for the day. And right now the market is still open, and for the 8th, the futures market is showing a little bit of decline, 0.02. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Let's go on to indicators and look at QQQ. It's looking good. QQQ has also broken through the resistance, and the resistance was at 429.59. So I'm going to mark that green. So now we are in elevated levels, and I was talking about this being a pennant kind of a or a wedge kind of a situation, and since it's on a bullish path, it should break out on the upside, and it did. So to that extent also I was right from yesterday, and it's a thick doji because the wick on both sides are equal, and it is sitting exactly on this support of 429.99. It opened above it in the morning, and it continued to stay above that. If you look at the VIX, it has gone down further. VIX is declining, and if you look at S&P 500, it was up 0.83%, and RSI is close to being overbought. Dow Jones is also up 0.41%, room in the RSI for further growth. US dollar index is going down. This basically indicates that interest rate expectations are moving in the right direction. Like the market is expecting interest rates would not go up further, and it's more likely to go down. So that's the expectation out there. Russell's has not done very well, but I would say that if you look at the companies in the Russell index, this wouldn't come as a surprise. So that's okay. US oil was down 0.11, and put call ratio is almost neutral. It's at 0.98. So I wouldn't call it bullish at all. I would say it is neutral. And if you look at the companies that are in S&P 500 that are supporting this rally. It has dropped down to 62.62%. These are all companies which are above their 50-day average. I think the broad-based support is not there. Everything is being driven by cloud, I think cloud and AI. So let's look at genomics now. When we look at genomics, I'm going to look at PACB first. As I predicted yesterday, most of our shares are on the red, and I had said that CRISPR Therapeutics will do much better. It will be much more range bound, and as you can see, it is the one with a very low drop. Let us just sort this out to make sure that we have the worst performers on the top and best performers on the bottom. So the best performer was Allogene, which gained 0.97%. I don't think there is any news out here, but it's a sentiment issue. Bluebird was down minus 0.46%. Again, not a good sign for Bluebird being under $1 for so long. Beam was down minus 1.1%. Illumina was down 1.35%. So in my last video, I had said Illumina and CRISPR Therapeutics are two companies which might do much better. So from that perspective, I would say that Illumina has not lost as much. It still stays above the support out here. Of course, it has fallen below the 9-day exponential moving average. But RSI is still above average. So I think momentum being above average, I'm happy. Though it's not pointing in the direction I would like it to. Next, Editas was down minus 1.39%. And we have CRISPR Therapeutics, which was down minus 1.73%. So we are back below this line of support, which now becomes a line of resistance at 66.49. So I'm going to put it into red. And momentum is still above average, so I'm hopeful that this is going to pick up going forward. Intel was down 1.88%, and it still is above this diagonal line of support from a previous bull channel. So I'm still comfortable from that perspective because it has got very strong support here from the 9-day exponential moving average as well as the diagonal line of support which has been coming with us for a while now. However, one of the matters of concern for me is that the momentum has fallen below average, and that's not a good thing. And ARC-G was down 2.29%, and momentum is also below average. Of course, I believe somewhere somebody had said that ARC-G is the biggest destroyer of wealth. I can feel that because I have 100 ARC-G in my portfolio and it's down almost 56%. So I've been holding it for a long time, waiting for the payday. Nothing is coming. So despite all those fantastic research and a whole lot of technical analysis and fundamental analysis, the performance is pathetic at this point of time. IMTX was down 2.87%. Momentum is just falling below average, not looking great at this point of time. Genomics was down 3.45%. Again, the story for all of these companies is that they are being constrained by the 9-day exponential moving average. And PACB was down 3.81%. Again, pushed down by the 9-day exponential moving average. Momentum is also weak. DNA is down 3.88%. The CEO of DNA is supposed to testify in Congress. They are doing some hearing about biotech, so he's going to be there. Prime was down 4.27%. Again, falling below the 9-day exponential moving average. Chart is looking very weak, and VERV was down 4.45%. And again, fallen below the 9-day exponential moving average. Chart is looking very weak. And we go to Caribou Biosciences, which was down 5.23%. And I don't think there is any bad news for Caribou Biosciences, but after so many days of gains, one of these days for profit taking is more than expected. And I think that we'll get support from the 9-day exponential moving average, which is sitting at 6.38. So that's what we have here, my friends. And tomorrow, all those that were heavily red are definitely becoming green. And those that were slightly green may end up being neutral or may continue to be red. So that's what I expect for tomorrow. In other words, a negative of what we see here right now, opposite of that. Next, I would like to just summarize my thoughts. So there seems to be a lot of cyclical movement. The investors are being opportunistic and they are coming into genomics whenever it is down, and then they are moving out into other places like financials or defensive, or into the Mag 6 whenever there's an opportunity. And therefore, what we are seeing is that the shares in our genomic sector are mostly moving horizontally, one day up, another day down, and so on. It's not strictly one day up and another day down. It could be a few days up and then a few days down, and so on. It depends on what's happening in the market. So I think tomorrow again we are likely to see some good fortune in genomics. So if one were to watch carefully some of the companies out there, and wherever those companies are moving in a narrow range and have not fallen down further, those would be ideal for swing trading, where one could expect to buy on the days when the market falls and one would expect to sell on the days when the market comes up. But one cannot be greedy. You have to have a time of just 1 or 2 days in which you're going to get out of that position, because anything can go wrong. Past performance is not guarantee for future. So this is my personal opinion, not financial advice. This is something I'm going to be investigating to see if I can find any companies trading in a narrow range and consolidating sideways, so that I can buy closer to the bottom and sell closer to the top. And typically those would have to be in large numbers, like thousands of shares, so that you can make some meaningful money out of it. So that's my thought process here. So with that said, let's go on to look at AI. We are now into the AI watch list, and the first one here is NVIDIA, which was still up again today, 2.75. It has gained everything that it lost yesterday and a little more, and it's inching upward, creating records day after day after day. And AMD is up 1.82%, constrained by the 9-day exponential moving average, behaving much more rationally. And one of the things that we need to watch is whether we are going into a wedge situation on a bullish trend, or if we are getting into a bear channel. That's what we have to look at. At this point of time, I'm going to temporarily draw a line out here to connect these points. And I would venture to say that it's more or less looking like a bullish pennant, and we have to break on the outside. However, if we start having a lower low, like tomorrow if it went down, or sometime if it comes down, if we find any lower lows, then I think I'll be worried about it. So let us keep this pennant here for the time being to see if it's a bullish pennant. Next, Google was up 0.87%. Plenty of room for Google to go up. There's a huge gap fill to be done. I would prefer to buy some Google tomorrow on the Canadian side. Of course, personal opinion, not financial advice. There's plenty of room for Google to go up. And Microsoft up 2.11%. Very well developed candle today. There was no doubt, no wicks, nothing. It's just a solid candle all the way up. And RSI is almost overbought. So I think we have passed the previous high. So this again is an all-time high for Microsoft, driven by the AI and the cloud computing. I think Microsoft has got more room to go up if the same trend persists. And they have also delivered during their earnings. So this is all post earnings, so all good. Next, we look at Meta. It was up 3.27%. It's consolidating out here. There's a tantalizing gap up which needs to be filled up. So I'd be a bit apprehensive, and I'll be wary about where where Meta is going. But when it comes to Meta and Google, I think I'll be aware of the fact that it's an election year and there's going to be a lot of money being spent on media and advertising. And I think both Meta and Google might make a lot of money in the process. So I think we have to bake that into it. And if any of you have any contrary opinions in this regard, please put it in the comment section. And I would be really glad to get myself educated. Amazon was up 0.82% and again consolidating a tantalizing gap here. Apple was up 0.06%, firmly back into the bull channel above the 8-day and the 20-day exponential moving average and the 50-day exponential moving average. So Apple is gaining strength now. And then if you look at FNGU, this is what I bought today, a little bit more to dollar cost average, because right now FNGU is being heavily influenced by NVIDIA. Because NVIDIA is growing very, very fast and the numbers are going high for NVIDIA quickly. At the same time, NVIDIA also is the biggest weakness for FNGU, because when NVIDIA falls, it's going to fall really hard. So I'm a bit wary about it. We still have a gap fill to be completed out here, and the gap down here was not filled and gap up was not filled. So this area needs to be filled up. So I'm expecting anytime now NVIDIA can come down and then go up on its way back. Next, as ASML was up 1.92%. Palantir was up 7.91%, again adding strength to strength. I thought it was done because yesterday it stopped at the resistance. So the resistance has now become a support at 21.86. Intel Corporation was up 0.09%. And there is a gap up to be filled up. I think I would be interested in Intel because if their foundry gambit works out, I think it should be fine. And I'm also reading up on artificial intelligence. I'm going to make a separate video for you guys on all the things that I have learned about AI. There are various components of AI. Not everyone is competing with each other. Many are synergistic to each other. So I'll talk about all the various components that goes into the AI infrastructure. And you guys will also have a better understanding. And some of you who already know AI can also comment and give us more knowledge. So that video is coming up later this week. BAIDU was down 2.10%. Intuit was up 1.24%. Adobe was up 1.43%. So that's where we ended up the day. So what am I going to do tomorrow? Well, to be honest, I have got around 25% of money of the portfolio sitting in cash. I have got investments in really good blue chips like Berkshire, like Google, Apple, Amazon. So they are all out there. Some of the investments are negative, like Tesla is down around 35 to 40% in my portfolio. ARCG is also heavily negative. I'm not going to sell either of these at this point of time. So that's the situation. And I have got CRISPR Therapeutics, which is profitable. It's almost 15%, I think 15 to 16% profit on CRISPR that I have. I have negative on Bluebird, and DNA is just about positive for me. So that's the lay of the land. So my main goal right now is to benefit as much as possible. So my target is that I want to have $30,000 of gain at the end of the year. So to make that gain, I'm going to do whatever I can. And the best tool I find is FNGU. So I'm going to be using the FNGU in this bull phase, which is the best time for deploying it. And I'm going to be invested in FNGU on a very, very short-term basis. So I might get out every now and then when the market gets weak before I lose any money. That is my strategy. So right now my FNGU is profitable. I have a gain of around 4% at this point of time, which is a decent chump change. I've already booked profits of more than 1,500 on FNGU trades so far this year. So I just need to keep on doing this as long as we are in the bull market. And once we go into the bear market, that's when I'll have to use options. And every once in a while, I do sell half of my good shares to book profits with the hope that if the share price goes down, I can dollar cost average and buy back again and reinstate my position. I have done that successfully with Microsoft and with Google and also with Apple in the past. So that's my strategy. So I'm going to be watching tomorrow. The first thing is I'm going to look at futures. If the futures continue to be green, I'm not much worried. Then I'll be looking at the headlines first thing in the morning to see what is happening out there. Is there anything catastrophic that is happening or a negative news that could impact the market? That's what I'm going to look at. And then very close to market open, I'll be looking at the pre-market action on FNGU, on NVIDIA, Apple, the Magnificent 6, because those are the ones that are going to impact Magnificent 7. Those are the ones that are going to impact the share market. So as long as NVIDIA is red, my first instinct will be to get out of FNGU. If NVIDIA stays green, I'm not that much worried. I'll be able to see what's happening at market open and then decide to pull the trigger on whether to buy a little more or to sell. So that's my strategy for tomorrow. And then, of course, I'll want to come back and start making videos for you guys. So that's my plan. So with that said, I think I'd like to bring this video to an end. Thanks and have a great day. Bye for now.